Hello everyone, Andrew here, and welcome to today's Game & Watch review, which is Lifeboat, the 36th Game & Watch ever released, with a date of October 25th, 1983. It is also, once again, a horizontally opening, multi-screen Game & Watch. Nice gold sticker and orange exterior, very reminiscent of the color of the original Donkey Kong Game & Watch, so if you like the color orange, this is the Game & Watch for you. But looking at the actual game itself, there is probably going to be a great similarity between this game and another one which we have previously looked at. That's of course assuming that, everyone watching this video has followed the entire series up to this point. Maybe there's the actual chance that YouTube suggested one of my videos to someone who doesn't normally watch them, in which case, welcome, thank you so much, but that'll be the day, right? The algorithm actually suggesting my stuff, I don't expect that to happen any decade soon. But yes, this Game & Watch is actually very reminiscent of Parachute, another game where people are, jumping from something, in that case a helicopter, in this case a burning cruise ship, and you have to catch them in a boat and get them to safety. We're going to actually do something this time that we don't normally do, and that is start with Mode B, because I think it's, helps us a little understand the game a little bit better before we jump into Mode A, which is a little bit different. So in Mode A, rather B here, what you have to do is grab the people jumping, but your boat can only hold up to 4 people at a time. So once you grab them, it's not like Parachute where they kind of just disappear and don't have to think about it too much afterwards. Once you start grabbing people, you need to make sure that you get them to safety on either the left or right side. And as you can see here, in Mode B, you have one boat, which you can transfer between the two screens. And you can drop the people off at the person on either the left or right. But you'll notice when we play Game A that things are a little bit different. But I think that Mode B is definitely a little bit better to, kind of get used to the game. Because Mode A, you'll see, has a really interesting difference. I'm sure we'll get to that in just a second, as I'm already failing here in Mode B. But yeah, there's just no leniency in this game at all. Sometimes Game Watches are kind of generous. Like, you have a second, even when they're above the water, to go and get them before they actually fall in. But if your boat is not immediately under someone when they get to just above that water, you have no chance for kind of like, safety time. They're just going right in, and see, like that. There's just no kind of leniency there at all. So, of course, one more miss, and we're out. But yeah, as you can see, very similar to Parachute here. So if you like the Parachute, Parachute style gameplay, maybe consider getting Lifeboat, because it definitely has that Parachute element to it. But then you also get Game A, which we're going to look at right now, where now you have 2 boats, one on the left and one on the right, and they are both controlled with the same left and right buttons. So like moving one boat to the left will also move the other one. You can't move them separately. So that kind of changes things up a bit. I kind of like that. So you can use that to your advantage too. So like when you're emptying people off of one boat, maybe you can be catching people with the other one. But as we've played many multi-screen Game & Watches at this point, one of the big things in these games is always learning how to look at both screens at the same time, and it just really racks the brain. And it's really cool once you kind of get the hang of it. So you got to catch that one, but then we also need to let people off that boat. And yes, each boat can hold up to 4 people, and of course, if you try to catch someone while one of the boats is full, the game won't be having none of that, and they'll be going into the water. But see, as I'm catching that guy, the other people are getting off of that boat, so that's pretty cool. Let's just see how well we can do with this. But yes, definitely a very similar concept to Parachute. I don't think Lifeboat was featured on any of the Game & Watch galleries. Game & Watch Gallery 4 had a whole bunch of unlockable games, because the other Game & Watch Gallery games had a museum, which was kind of just meant to be a sample of like what Game & Watch games were out there, even if they weren't fully playable. But Game & Watch Gallery 4 was absolutely mad, and what you can actually unlock a playable version of every single game featured in its museum if you collect tons of stars. And I have to admit that I have never 100%ed Game & Watch Gallery 4 as much as I've, loved it and tried to back in the day. We're definitely going to stream Game & Watch Gallery 4 soon. I have already streamed Game & Watch Gallery 1 and 2, possibly 3 by the point that this video goes up, so hopefully everyone's been enjoying those streams. I think it's just so cool that the Game & Watch Gallery games exist. If you cannot get your hands on an authentic Game & Watch, they are still fantastic ways to experience the games, plus the modern modes are always a pleasure. With great graphics, great music, they're just such well-made games. As anyone who's been watching the streams will have obviously noticed. So yeah, Mode A is a little bit easier than Mode B. Having those two boats, I think definitely helps a little bit. Of course, you know, on Mode B, people have to jump a little bit slower, otherwise it'd be completely unmanageable. You definitely have more action going on both screens in Mode A because you have, you know, the two boats, which, you know, should technically make it so that you can, you know, do more. Let's see, I can grab that and let those people off. Where did I drop someone? Weird. I was too busy looking at the other side of the screen, I guess. It's only our first miss, though. We should be able to get to 200, just like we were hoping to do in Tropical Fish. Maybe we'll finally get to see a miss removed in an actual Game & Watch and not just in Game & Watch Gallery. That's perfect. No, 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 no. Second I start opening my mouth about getting up to 200 points is when I start blowing it. And that's funny because Tropical Fish is another orange Game & Watch too. Maybe there's a thing here where all the orange Game & Watches are like easy to rack up points in or something like that. Alright, let's concentrate here. The game's nice. It seems to kind of, you know, plan it so that... Oh no! I was like, the boat's full, gotta go unload them, and then I just totally, you know, derped out and let the other guy fall into the water. So there you go, once again, 192 points, and just before we probably would have had a miss removed, we get game over. But I think everyone understands the concept. Lifeboat's a very cool game, and again, if you like the, you know, parachute concept, consider Lifeboat as well. Still a very fantastic game. And yeah, definitely reminiscent of Parachute, but with a new twist. And, you know, released a little bit after that, so they had some time to kind of make some improvements. I like it. Hopefully you enjoyed this review, and hope you'll join me tomorrow when we look at another Game & Watch. So thanks for watching, and hope to see you then.